Ubisoft has released the Rengoku event once again, and it might have just brought one of the best skins we will ever see in Rainbow Six Siege. That skin is the Imprisoned Dragon Memento. So this is the second mythical skin ever added to the game, right after the last MPX skin that we got with the Valkyrie Paragon Elite. And we have every single pack, so we're going to show off that mythical skin at the end of the video, and I'm going to be rating every single skin that is in these packs. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and let's get into this. So I haven't really seen these skins, but obviously we have reskins. Starting it off with Legendary, hopefully it's a new skin, and it is. This is probably going to be one of the best Deimos skins. I mean, other than this skin, we have the Halloween skin. So this has got to be like, honestly, a 10 out of 10. Although looking at his face, he has teeth. We got the Groot skin for Deimos. But yeah, this is a 10 out of 10. Oh, okay. So Echo has a bundle. This is not that bad. Honestly, this is a pretty good skin. I like that they actually added texture and coloring to the suppressor, so that's pretty nice. Being a skin, I think this would maybe be like a 6 or 7 out of 10. I think it's a pretty good looking skin. I personally love purple, so that's a big W for me. Next skin, we got another purple. I don't know what all the rarities are for this, and this is the Deimos skin. Okay, this would definitely be up there as well. And I think the whole set, it would probably look absolutely stunning. The AK does not have that many good skins. So honestly, if it had a bit more texture, I think it would be higher. But this is a good like 6 out of 10. I would have to see how it looks in game. A portrait. Okay, now portraits aren't, you know, a lot of people don't like portraits. And this portrait especially is not that good. Honestly, if I were looking at this, I would think that this was a reskin, but I'm pretty sure Azami's is new. I'm not the biggest fan of this. That would probably be like a 5 out of 10 for portraits. And okay, so Mozzie got a reskin. I do have to say, I did not like Mozzie's last skin, and the red is honestly really touching in my opinion. I love the red. But for a portrait, this looks kind of goofy, probably like a 4 or a 3 out of 10. Okay, I've always loved the Hibana set, and honestly, this looks the exact same. It is a reskin, but I honestly don't even know what they changed. She looks just a bit more dull, honestly. So if I were to be rating this, since it is a reskin, the last portrait would probably be like a 10 out of 10 for portraits. But this would be like a 7 out of 10 probably on the scale for portraits. Purple. And okay, it's a background. I mean, do we really even have to rate this? The operator might look cool in front of it, so maybe like... I don't know. I don't have a very good rating for this, so I'm just going to cut it even and say 5 out of 10. Another purple. And it's the Mozzie headgear. Okay. Honestly, for Mozzie doesn't have a whole lot. So this is probably up there, maybe like a 7 out of 10 headgear. It's pretty good, and I like the reskin if I'm being honest. And I just realized, I don't know if the original had the mosquito at the top. Someone definitely let me know down in the comments, but that is kind of a good touch. This would probably be a 7 out of 10 for, in my opinion, just because Mozzie doesn't have much, and it is pretty unique. Purple. Okay, this is... I hate Thunderbird stuff. I actually have the OG Thunderbird helmet on right now. And that's just because Thunderbird does not get anything, and they're kind of dookie. Like, even her old headgear, just not that good. But this uniform is pretty bad. Like, this is probably a 2 out of 10. They really need to change up Thunderbird's look. They need to change what they're actually doing with the uniforms and the headgears. Okay, so this is the reskinned Hibana gun skin, and honestly, I like how flashy it is. I really like the colors. This represents the event very well. So this would probably be like a 7 or 8 out of 10 for a weapon skin. And, okay, the Azami uniform. I definitely would not run this. I like her Halloween one a lot more. The back's actually kind of cool with the symbol. Oh, that's actually her. That actually might bump it up a tad bit. That's her operator icon. So that's kind of cool. That would probably bump it up definitely a little bit to maybe a 6 out of 10. It's not the worst, not the best, but it's pretty average. Okay, we got an attachment skin. That's actually a pretty cool attachment skin. I like this right side more where it's a bit more red. But that's pretty clean. The thing about attachment skins though is that it has to match your weapon skin, and honestly I don't see this matching very many weapon skins. As an attachment skin as a whole, it's probably kind of up there like a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. But would I actually be running this with any of my weapon skins? Probably not. Okay, another bandit uniform. The thing about the headgears in the uniforms is it's really nice when they actually change how the uniform and the headgear look as a whole asset, not just the skin, not just the coloring. So this is probably a pretty average, like possibly even a 4 out of 10. This is not that good. Okay, and now we got his gun skin, which as a looks of it, this would actually probably be made for Fenrir. So it's a bit odd that it's coming with a bandit set, but hey, it's not the worst gun skin. I'd probably say it's like a 6 out of 10. Another portrait, just straight dookie, probably the worst set in Rengoku, and it's a portrait, so this is probably going to get like a 2, possibly even a 1 out of 10. I'm going to say this is the first 1 out of 10. This is pretty dookie. Even on a portrait level, this is awful. Okay, and then straight out of a 1 out of 10, this is a 10 out of 10. I mean, Deimos already doesn't have much, and I love that he's been getting featured in so many events recently because they go all out for Deimos skins. He's possibly been getting some of the best skins. This does not disappoint. Okay, this might be our first blue, and it's a charm. It's not that bad, so honestly, since it is a charm and most people just aren't going to run something like this, that probably makes it like a 3 out of 10. Okay, back to another legendary. Here we go. And this is the Azami skin. It's not the worst, honestly. I would genuinely run this if I didn't have some of my better skins. This is a pretty good skin. Purple. And, you know, I gotta say, this is kind of on the same basis. Again, actually, on the side of her gun, you can see that she has her operator icon. I personally like that her and Azami both have that incorporated into their sets. But this isn't the best skin. I love all the detail, and honestly, it kind of shimmers a little bit. So this is probably like a 6 out of 10 gun skin. And again, the spear does have some better skins, but not that many. Okay, Habana uniform, honestly not mad. This is probably one of the better reskins. Probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10. Not the best, and there's definitely other uniforms that I would run, but out of all the reskins, this is one of the better ones. And the Bandit portrait. Bandit honestly doesn't have a lot of portraits, so this is kind of good for him. But it is a pretty average portrait, so maybe like a 4 out of 10. And now taking it from Bandit to Echo, this is pretty good. I like that they actually incorporate his headgear a lot more. And honestly, he has probably one of the best headgears in this event. We actually haven't seen that come up yet, so this is a sneak peek at that. Honestly, he looks pretty dope, and Echo does not have many portraits. I might honestly have to equip that. I don't know what I'm running. But that's a pretty cool portrait. Probably be like a 7 out of 10 for a portrait. Okay, going back to Habana, and again, this is probably Habana's best headgear. This one could be a lot better, honestly. I would definitely have to compare them side by side, though. I'll probably give it an 8 out of 10. It is a very good headgear, but again, it's the reskin, so I don't really want to give it too much more. Oh, wait. This is specifically for this shield then, right? It says it's a unique ability skin, but it is seasonal. Is this the universal skin? If this is only for the shield, this is definitely like a 10 out of 10. If it is for everything though, this is, I don't know, I'd have to see. If it looks just as good as it does on this, then it'll probably be at least an 8 out of 10. This is a pretty cool skin. Okay, another blue. And wow. I'm actually pretty surprised because Mozzie, in my opinion, has one of the best reskins. I really like the red, honestly. This kind of comes into what I was mentioning about how they need to actually change the uniform. As you see, his shoulders actually have that Japanese kind of armor texture, and he's got chainmail by the looks of it. So me personally, I'd probably put this up there with one of the best Mozzie skins. Much better than the original, so in my opinion, this is probably a 7 out of 10. Okay, another legendary. I'm pretty sure all the legendaries are headgears, and I would be wrong. This is his Deimos uniform. I love how this matches with the Halloween headgear. I honestly think it matches better than the Halloween headgear. You know what? I'm equipping this. For a uniform, especially on Deimos, this is a 10 out of 10. I honestly think Deimos has the best bundle in this whole Rengoku event, even compared to all of the past events. I think this is a perfect bundle and exactly what we need to expect from these events. And we got the Thunderbird headgear. The thing is, Thunderbird only has this one unique headgear, I'm pretty sure. So her original, if you were only rating out of Thunderbird skins, it would probably be a 10 out of 10 because honestly, there's nothing better on Thunderbird. But in general, these skins are awful. Legendary. And, oh, yes. This is dope. This is right up there with Deimos again, honestly. I think this is probably either a 9 out of 10 or it's a 10 out of 10. I'm not a fan of the purple around his neck. Other than that, this skin is honestly perfect. I don't think they could have done better with a headgear for Echo, and honestly, this is probably one of his best headgears. I'm not 100% sure, I'd have to compare, but in my opinion, this is either a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. And the Echo uniform, again, this is absolutely beautiful. If you were running this separate from the headgear, I don't think it would match very well with a lot of things. If you were running this as a full set, then in my opinion, this is a 10 out of 10. Even though Echo has been out for a very long time, he's not been featured in many events, so I think this is a big W. But in general, as a uniform, I'd probably give it just like a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. It's definitely a better skin, but it's not anything too crazy. And a drone skin. I would not be running this over my kitty cat drone, but honestly, it's a pretty cool drone skin, and I wouldn't blame you if you did run it, so probably a 7 out of 10. And the bandit headgear. I really like the dual colors. I think it fits in pretty well. The black and the gold look really good with each other. This might be better than the original. It's probably not better than a lot of his other headgears. It's kind of up there though, so let's be nice, and honestly, I think I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Another legendary, and it's the Azami headgear. If I was new to this game and you told me there were reskins, this is what I would be imagining. This looks like a reskin of one of the original Rengoku skins. I think compared to Echo and Deimos's, this is kind of lacklustering. They just painted her white and threw a mask on her. I don't think I would run this over her Halloween skin, but if you don't have that, then this might be the best alternative. Because of that, I think I gotta give it an 8 out of 10. Compared to all of the other new headgears, this one's definitely my third favorite. And for the final pack, I don't even remember what I need. And it's the Mozzie gun skin. This looks beautiful. I'm honestly not disappointed. The skin's pretty good, and compared to the original, again, it's much, much better. And I wish we saw that more often with the reskins. I wish that they weren't disappointing to see and that they were actually better. And now it is time to claim the memento. So the only problem that I have with this Memento gun skin is that it's on the G36. We've already had to deem the G36 as one of the best weapons when it comes to skins, mainly because of the Doctor's Curse event skin. This is probably the coolest Doctor's Curse skin, and I'm pretty sure it was the first Memento that we might have ever had. I could totally be wrong on that. But look at this beautiful gun skin. This season, if you were a 2016 veteran, then you also got the coveted ice, which is a huge flex. It's probably not the best skin, but a lot of people would want to be running this skin on the G36. These are already 2 gun skins that are unique to the G36, and now we have a third coming in with the Imprisoned Dragon, and it just sucks that we cannot run all of these skins at the same time, because the only thing about this skin that is keeping me from running the others is that it's a mythic and it's going to have cool animations and it's just going to be a pretty good skin in general. Now, I definitely do think that the Imprisoned Dragon skin knocks the other 2 out of the park by looks, but OG players always want something to flex, and I think it's going to suck giving up the coveted Ice 2016 skin to run the Imprisoned Dragon. And I actually have one thing that I want to check before we check out the animations, and that's if you can see the dragon with iron sights, and sadly no. Now, this was one of the things that I liked about the showdown event, is that you could actually kind of see the bowl if you were running iron sights on that memento, but you sadly cannot see his face if you run iron sights. Now let's check out this bad boy's animations. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is one angry kitty. Now let's check out the reload animation. This is definitely an 11 out of 10 weapon skin. I genuinely and honestly think that this is one of the best weapon skins in the game, if not the best weapon skin in the game in terms of looks. Obviously there's rarer, but this is probably the best skin by looks. I mean, look at this bad boy. Anyways, that wraps it up for this pack opening. Comment down below, is the Imprisoned Dragon worth having all 33 of the packs? In my opinion, yes, because I think that this is the best weapon skin in the game, and it's the second mythic skin, which is a huge flex. This is the first one that you can get without spending like $50 on the Paragon Elite. But that's if you have the renown and don't spend $50 just to get the Rengoku packs. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this pack opening. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and comment down below what your thoughts are on this beautiful, beautiful mythic skin. Anyways, peace out, be safe, and I love you guys. Bye-bye.